Welcome in, everybody, to Fantasy Pros MLB. This is Leading Off Live. It is me, Joey P. Joe Pisapia. With me, of course, is the Welsh. And it's all of you, the Peanuts and the Cracker Jacks, on our Twitch, twitch.tv/fantasypros. That's the place to be Monday through Friday, every single day. Noon, actually, no, 12:30 Eastern. Not noon Eastern. No, that would be early, but you can get here early if you want to. 12:30 Eastern, that's the time to be here. And, of course, you can always watch us on demand on our YouTube channel as well, Fantasy Pros MLB. Subscribe. We're less than 200 subscribers away now from 30,000. That's a big milestone for us and a lot of fun for you guys because we will be dressing up. We got a lot to get to today. Luckily, Juan Soto goes to the IL. We're going to talk about that and what it means for some of the other players around there. We're going to talk about prospecting with the Welsh because it's Tuesday. It was a light schedule in Major League Baseball, but Welsh, certainly something to talk about right at the top is the start of the season for Jordan Walker. Jordan Walker, prospect from a couple years ago, fitting that it's prospecting with the Welsh Tuesday anyway, that we were all excited about. I remember I comped him. I thought he was going to be like a Jermaine Dye type of player. I thought that was kind of the mold that he could be very successful as he moved into the outfield from third base, struggles, sent down, comes back up, struggles, some injuries, the whole gamut he's had. It's been a really good start to the year for Jordan Walker. The question is, and I know everybody who's picked him up in the last weekend for waivers is asking the same thing. After yesterday's home run, are we seeing him turn a corner? Or is this just a really nice week and change here to start the season for Jordan Walker?
I think it could be something in between both of those things because, like, I don't want to come on here and be like, guys, Jordan Walker is finally going to live up to everything that we always dreamed of. It has finally happened. Cut all your players. Jordan Walker time. No. But I also don't think this is just a flash in the pan. When you go in and look, like, he's barreling the ball more, he's hitting the ball extremely hard. Average exit velocity is ridiculous early on, like 98 miles per hour. So he's striking the ball at an incredible degree. It looks like Ben Rice's baseball savant page at this point. From a negative side, though, he's not pulling the ball in the air whatsoever, which maybe is a positive to, like, the cool results he's had. He's making less contact in the zone than he normally does. And, you know, from a bat speed perspective, if you care about that type of stuff, he is going a little bit faster than he was before, but this might be the key. He is reaching that ability to get to that speed at a higher rate than he's ever done before. So I think it's a comfortability level. We forget he's 23 years old. Like, This is the skill set that we had seen in the past. I'm relatively encouraged. Fastball, off-speed pitches. He's got really good contact rates against. He's not really getting into a whole lot of breaking pitches. So I do, like, he's seeing 57% fastballs. That's going to change. A lot of these guys, we're going to see those rates start to change. So how is he going to adjust? But for all intents and purposes, like, I'm in on Jordan Walker. I talked about him last week. This is a guy that I think he should be aggressive very early on in this season. If you've got the ability on your benches to pick up players like Jordan Walker, Cam Smith, Liam Hicks, these guys that have made some concerted changes in their underlying profile that are showing up in games just to see if this clicks through the rest of the season. I think Jordan Walker is a pretty decent one to try to hold on to. So I'm in on Jay Walker.
I saw him go for a lot in my home league on the waiver wire, and it's a deep league. It's a 16-team league, and it was just like, wow. I was like, somebody spent a third of their budget already on him. And I get it. It's also a keeper situation. You can keep 10, but again, you keep them at that price that you contract them at. So either you get them in the auction draft or you get them at free agency. But
wait, whatever you get them in waivers, you have to pay their contract. So, like, it's 100 and you go $30, you have to pay. Is a $30 contract?
Yeah,
that's stupid.
Well, it's not stupid. That's actually, I think, fair. I mean, most of the guys get drafted. You can spend however you want. It's rare that you keep a lot of guys that go out on the waiver wire.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. Like, no, why would anybody keep anybody if you're?
Well, I mean, because if somebody has a breakout year, a $30 player with a $1 increase is not the worst thing in the world. If he becomes, you know, like you said, he's 23, right? That's kind of 3 or 4 years of looking at him as a controllable player. But still, I think sometimes the impact of early season is certainly something to debate. And one of the guys we're going to debate next is Jose Soriano, who's had a fantastic start to the season. So after posting a 5 ERA in the spring and last year a 4.26 mark, now he did make 31 starts through 169 innings last year. His whip was approaching 1.4. So a lot of tricky things there, did walk a lot of guys. He has started off the season in an absolutely insane mark here. He's got 3 starts under his belt, 20 innings. He's given up just 7 hits, 21 strikeouts, just 6 walks so far. His whip is .65. And great tweet from Sarah Langs here. 20 plus innings and 1 or no runs in his first 3 appearances in Angels history. It's only 2 people to do that. It's Soriano and Kirk McCaskill from my childhood back in the 80s in 1989. Soriano is also the first major league pitcher with those marks and 20 plus strikeouts in his first 3 since Jason Vargas and James Paxton, who both did it in 2017. So an incredible start to Jose Soriano. And I think we all know an ERA under 1 is never going to be sustainable. But what is different in Soriano so far in these first 3 starts that's not the same as it was in 2025 in the regular season?
Well, one thing, Joe, are you saying that spring stats don't matter? Yes, of course they don't, and they don't through that horse.
Spring stats only matter for the guys that it really matters for. I don't think Soriano it mattered for. He had a rotation spot.
It does not matter at all. That's what I'm saying. It didn't matter. You said they should have spring 5 ERA. It didn't matter whatsoever. But you know the thing I was thinking about with this to kind of talk about, because like what's different? It's efficiency. Like from compared to where he was before, he's mixing his pitches at a much higher degree. Last year he only threw 2 pitches, really 10% or more of the time, and it was a knuckle curve and a sinker. This year he's got 4 pitches he's going to at 10% or more of the time, plus he's throwing his slider at an 8% clip. So that's creating just like this really good mix that he can go to, because he pumps a high fastball. You can get those ground balls with the sinker. The knuckle curve has a 48% whiff rate, and the split finger has a 50% whiff rate. So you've got a couple pitches you're throwing at high degrees with big whiffs. You've got a couple different fastballs you can rely on. But you know the thing I was sitting thinking about? Man, I feel like every time you talk about projections, not you, like the figurative, like we talk about projections.
The royal
like,
you.
Yeah, the royal you. It's kind of in like a negative, like people, it's either just like everything about projections or mostly it's like, let me tell you why projections are blah, blah, blah. What a great testament to projections Jose Soriano is, because if you guys had paid attention in the top 30, when they base out like war of projections on these guys, on ATC and the bat, Jose Soriano was a top 30 projected pitcher in both of Ariel Cohen and Derek Carty's projection systems. And everybody just kind of stared at it and was just like, why? This feels so weird, because he's just kind of like a median pitcher, a little over 4 ERA last year, high whip. And I just wanted to give a shout out to the project, because I'm not a be all end all projections guy. I use it as like a piece of a piece of my tool belt. But man, they all had him as a top 30 pitcher. He looks phenomenal. This new pitch mix adjustment and change looks like it's working out really well for him. And he was a guy you were getting kind of free 99. So very positive. Hopefully this pitch mix continues and continues the change so that, he can at least be a back into the rotation starter, if not obviously better.
Welsh, for $1, can you name one other member of the Angels rotation, the California Angels back then of 1989? Just one.
Of 89. Oh, I thought you were going to say 89. Right now.
No, 89.
Absolutely.
No, not now. I mean, now we can name them. That's our job. We better. Otherwise, we're getting fired.
Is this where that made-up player you said that you're like, from my
childhood? No, I think there's some big names on here. There's a Hall of Famer in this list.
Dennis Eckersley. Did he go to the Angels?
No, he did not.
Okay, I've absolutely, I could not.
In 89, he was already closing games for the Athletics back then.
Yeah. Well, I know he was an A. I just, for whatever reason, my brain.
Game Over got one. Game Over got one. There it is.
Chuck Finley. Okay.
There you go. No, it was not Nolan Ryan. Mike Witt. There you go. Mike Witt was in there. The other names are Jim Abbott, Kirk McCaskill, Chuck Finley, Mike Witt, and one Bert Blyleven. That's right. Hall of Famer.
Abbott, Blyleven.
Jim Abbott is, right?
Yeah. No, I know. Okay. Chuck Finley, Jim Abbott. All those are Chuck McCasker or whatever you said. I don't know who that is.
Kirk McCaskill. Now you're just making up things.
Matt McCullough.
All right, let's move on to some more pitching performances. Mixed bag last night. Jacob DeGrom, solo home run given up, but 6 strikeouts over 5 innings. No decision for him. But he is dealing with a, quote, minor knee issue. So I don't know how minor that is. He's 37 years old. Just something to keep in mind here with him. But he was touching 99 with the fastball yesterday. So that's good news.
By the way, I saw a stat. Yeah. I almost don't believe it. I think they said 250 starts he has. 120 of those starts, and I want to give credit. I don't know who the person was on Twitter. I'm forgetting it. But 120 of his 250 starts were 1 or 0 run starts. That's absurd. That's
well, there was that old
crazy.
stat when he was pitching for the Mets of like what his ERA was and the amount of wins he had or something like that. The expected wins that he should have had versus his ERA, it was something absurd. Like he should have won 90% of his games or something like that. It's just upsetting. Also upsetting, the amount of people that Bubba Chandler's been walking this year. So you might say spring doesn't mean anything, but he was walking guys in the spring too, which to me was a bit of a red flag. I think spring matters for a guy like Bubba Chandler, right? He came in last year, eventually got called up, but he was struggling with the control in AAA before. He gave up 3 runs. He walked 4 and 4 1/3. He's got 10 walks now at 8 2/3. He walked 11 guys in 11 spring innings. So Welsh, Bubba Chandler with the walks right now. To me, this is an untenable situation for him. They've got Skeens, they've got Ashcraft, they've got some momentum here going. You can't. If you're Bubba Chandler, you can't get out there and just beat yourself. And from a fantasy perspective, this is a tough thing too. Until he gets these walks under control, I'm not letting him touch my starting lineup if I've got Chandler. What do you think about Chandler's start yesterday? What do you think about the walks so far this season?
Yeah, he said it. He said it after. He's like, it's unacceptable. He's like, this has to be fixed. I'm getting this fixed through the next start. He's got an insane, like, it's just his zone percentage is not good. It stinks right now. He's not throwing enough strikes. That's gotta be the big fix. I don't know if there's going to be something, in the pitch mix that you're going to have to start adjusting. He's been, he's usually a pretty heavy changeup guy that's kind of gone down a heavy fastball right now. I think maybe you've got to rely, because you get such big swing and whiff stuff. You got to rely a little bit less on the fastball, because when you're throwing 99, you're not going to consistently get that ball in the zone. That was one I just tuned into the game, and it was like high fastball, and then he lost the fastball on the corner. Like, that's the type of stuff that's happening. But yeah, you can't live with a 25% walk rate, which he's got right now. And this is kind of the story of last year. We all thought he would be up early. He just kind of struggled with command throughout the season. He found it to a 4% rate when he came up in the majors last season. So I don't know. He's a super hard working ethic guy that I think he's going to kind of get through this. But this might be, I always use Dylan Cease as the comp, like 30% K percentage, 10 to 11% walk rate. That's kind of who I think you should expect him to be. I have to look who the next start is. I do think it's a little dicey because he's struggling getting to, 5 innings for wins. Defense doesn't help. One of the worst outfield defenses I've ever seen out there. But yeah, I think you should tread a little bit lightly with Bubba Chandler while he gets this thing fixed. But when he does, it's a 8 to 10 strikeouts per game.
Weekend, just in case.
Yeah, I don't love that. I probably
don't love that.
Yeah, I'm probably holding off on that start too.
Solar wants to know Ashcraft or Chandler rest of season. I'd go Ashcraft.
No, Chandler.
You kill Chandler. All right.
I love Ashcraft. Ashcraft was one of my sleeper guys, but like, this is Bubba Chandler's upside. If you want to play it safe, and you need to play it safe, Ashcraft is pretty cool, but he could also get into the streaming realm. Bubba Chandler is like a top end fantasy guy.
He bought us beer when we were teenagers. He's cool. He's a cool guy. Michael had a Bubba Chandler and Painter yesterday. So speaking of Painter, things did not go well for him or Michael yesterday in his fantasy league. So Painter gave up 9 hits. His first start against the Nationals, he struck out 8 guys, looked terrific. This one he got beat around the ballpark, 4 runs, 4 innings. He struck out 1. So any concerns here or panic with that start, or you just chalk it up to a bad day at the office for a young pitcher on the road?
I mean, you do have to have, like, if you invest in, young rookie pitchers, you got to have some grace to, like, you're going to have some of these bad outings. This is another one of those guys that, like, really gets that kind of weird pitch mix change. He throws a lot of different pitches. I guess this isn't like the toughest team you would think. It's not like he's going against his own team. The Giants have not offensively been great. He just did not induce any whiffs. I'm looking at the start right now. The whiffs overall weren't great. There was no velo down or anything like that. It just wasn't a phenomenal start. But I think this is what can happen with him. He's a guy that when the command is on, he can punch 7 or 8, but he can also have kind of Aaron Nola type of games, where Aaron Nola would have like 4 strikeouts and kind of go deep. I'm not overtly worried about it or anything like that. I expect bumpiness from rookie pitchers. It's also why I don't get like crazy invested in a lot of these guys as much as I like, specifically prospect. Like, there's Chase Burns, Nolan McClain. There's this little version in between them is Bubba Chandler, and then there's the prospects. Those other guys, they got more significant time in the majors, worked through the kinks, had 1 season through working out. Bam. Bubba Chandler, small sample size go. Then you get a guy like Andrew Painter. The prospect side, the guys that are making their first run, I'm very, very minimally invested in those type of guys because I think there's a lot more bumps and bruises. So I don't have any shares of Andrew Painter in fantasy this year because those aren't the guys I'm trying to invest in.
Now, a Painter for me is another one too, where he was just so hyped, and I could see why people liked him, but I did. Like when you see Paul Skeens throw for the first time, you go, "Oh my God!" Like I was never like that with Andrew Painter. I understand he was younger, and it's talking about like high school kids versus college pitchers and all that stuff. Like all that's fair, but I just think it's one of those where you just gotta again pump the brakes sometimes with some of the young kids. I do want to say this: you made a comment yesterday. I think Jackson Merrill heard you. He's not stealing bases. He stole a base yesterday.
Good job.
There you go. Good job.
Hey, Jackson Merrill's not stealing enough bases. I'm just going to put that out there. He should steal more bases. So
two more.
Yep.
I feel like it's personal. Like you got a couple shares and he needs more steals.
I'd like him to steal. Like he would be so much more valuable if he like stole some bases. Okay, great. One in 10 days. Let's get a couple more. Let's go.
All right. Well, 1 in 10 days. I mean, that's what 15 over the season. 16.
Yeah. I'll take that. Let's do it.
All right. Let's do a little deep dive on the Rays because it was a nice baseball moment yesterday. Shane McClanahan made his first start in that ballpark since 2023, July 22nd, 2023. That's how long it's been since Shane McClanahan made a start for the Rays in their home ballpark in Tropicana Field. He did strike out 5. He allowed 2 runs, 4 innings. Obviously, he's still going to have some limitations in terms of how long he's going to pitch out there, but still a really cool moment for Shane McClanahan. So shout out to him. It's nice to see. I like when good things happen. Judy Caminero also in that game hit a home run. A lot of talk early in the season. How's he going to adjust to hitting in the Trop? Well, so far, so good. Home run yesterday. We like that. And then Chandler Simpson 2 for 4 with not 1, but 2 steals. So Welsh, if you like steals, Chandler Simpson gives you the steals. We all know that.
It's great for my bets. For my bets putting in there. Chandler Simpson. What did I have? I lead the league in stolen bases at 4.5 to 1. So let's get that going.
That's absurd number that you got that. It's so good. So good. Not great. The only stat that I have here for the Lookie is Connor Griffin went hitless in his 3rd straight game. There was people on the internets talking about we should give him a day off and sit him this week, things like that. Do you abide by that, or do you just let the kid play through it?
Was it Schmo Smizapia 1475 on Twitter?
It was not. Okay.
Joey Buckets 689 sit Connor Griffin, send him back to the AAA at.
You can't now, but you can't do that because you signed him to the extension, right?
You can. You absolutely can. You don't want to. You can send a guy down.
Because now I thought, doesn't that muck up their compensation?
Oh yeah. No,
so they're not going to do that.
No, but I mean, they physically can. You made it sound like they can't. But yeah, you're right. Like it messes with the pick compensation. They're already dealing with this like little wonky thing of like, did they manipulate with the contract? Will they get the PPI? Blah blah blah. It doesn't look great. I'll say, like, if you actually watch the at-bats, it's not like he is the most overmatched player on the planet. Obviously, that first game came out good. He's taking some decent approaches, but it's a rough go. It's a rough go right now.
I think it's actually, you joke, but I actually think you should let him play through it, to be honest. I don't think anything good comes out of sitting him. I would not sit him for any of these games. I would let him go a full 7 to 10 games in a row before I even consider sitting him on there.
I'm different about that. Like, if you want to sit him a game to let him catch himself, watch a game, talk to players in the like, I have no problem with sitting one game. And I think in the first 10 or so, you should sit one just to kind of like readjust in there and then see how he bounces back. But the bigger discussion is people wanting to send him back to AAA and wanting to get rid of it.
I think the bigger discussion is what's happening in the chat right now. Is
your burner
names that you started.
You're like, oh, there's some people online that are saying Connor Griffin
which sounds
should have stayed
awful,
in AAA. Yeah, exactly. These are some.
What's your Star Wars name, Welsh? Do you have a Star Wars name? You know how you do that, or you have
how do you do it?
Take the first part of your last name and the last part of your first. Like mine is Piss Joe Labro, which sounds like a Star Wars name.
Is there like a generator? I'll do a name generator.
It's like but you have to like take like a section of your first name and move it to the end, and a section of your first name and move it to the front.
Well, someone do it for me. I mean,
someone do it for Welsh.
Yeah, you know my name.
We actually last night my kids and I did the Wu-Tang name generator.
Oh, nice.
Fun. I don't know if you've done that before.
I definitely have done that one before. Yeah, I just recently did. I did one. I can't it's like take the first letter and then you're this name and it's some goofy name or whatever. I'm totally into name. Anytime I see a name generator, I'm clicking it. I'm going to generate some fun.
I'm going to put the Welsh into the Wu-Tang one right now and see what
you're going to put. The Welsh, not Chris Welsh.
No, the Welsh.
Okay.
Zexy Warrior. That's pretty good.
But now put Chris Welsh. Let's see. Zexy Warriors.
Oh, that's pretty good.
We could do it.
I don't know if it's going to get better than
that's
that.
That's a Wu-Tang name?
Oh, you know what? I was wrong. This one's going to be better. X-Pert. Expert Bandit. How did they know?
Oh, yeah, that's fantastic.
Expert Bandit. I don't want to see Chris Welsh underneath anymore. Your name. Yeah. I want to see Expert Bandit. Mine is.
Give it to you.
Let's see what mine is. Mine is Sunshine Flower. No. No, I don't like this.
I like if it just said Joe Pisapia. It's just like, here's your Wu-Tang name, Joe Pisapia. That's it. Joseph.
I don't like I'm going to do the full name and see what happens. Oh, I'll get Midnight Destroyer. That's better. I like that one.
These are not Wu-Tang names.
I don't know.
It sounds like characters in G.I. Joe.
I don't know. I think the Expert Bandit's pretty damn good. Just saying.
Pretty good.
All right, well, we did talk about Connor Griffin, but there's more rookies to talk about every single Tuesday because it's time for Prospecting with the Welsh. That's right. Our own Christopher Welsh is going to tell us about some of the prospects in Major League Baseball's AA, AAA, the ones that are starting to scratch the surface of the major leagues. We got some great names last week, and one name's a carryover because he just hasn't stopped hitting. It's James Tibbs, now of the Los Angeles Dodgers organization. So Tibbs continues to rake. Welsh, let's talk about what the possibility is of when we could actually see him in Dodger blue up in LA in 2026.
Yeah, usually we don't have like mid-season is when we do like crossover of talking about players over again, but we've got to do it. And as a reminder as well, everybody wants me to talk about their favorite prospects that are in high A and double A. This is like a who you should be stashing type of prospect conversation when we are prospecting with the Welsh. There's lots of prospects to be had, but these are the guys that are closest to the majors. And James Tibbs is just a fascinating story from simply being traded left and right from two different teams, the NL West, trading him out into Boston and then coming back here. He is just the hottest hitter in the minor leagues. And that's what I just want to reiterate. We talked about it after 3 or 4 games in a very early onset last week. He's hitting almost 500. He has the most hits in all of the minor leagues. He has 7 homers, which is ridiculous. And an absolutely absurd, as we record this, 18 hits, 11 of those are extra base hits. James Tibbs is on something. He's got a really easy swing. You can clearly see there is solid power. He's doing it at a pretty aggressive level. And I think we always ask ourselves, okay, well, where can he fit? I feel like we're getting into a space where the Dodgers are it's not going to behoove them to keep him down there to keep figuring this out. He's going to push himself into the majors. Now, positionally, James Tibbs does not work where Mookie Betts got hurt, but Mookie Betts getting hurt could end up creating just a little bit more room, especially if they're looking for some more offense. So I just look at a guy like James Tibbs. I don't think he can stay down for way too long. I really don't think he's a trade candidate for a 4th time to another team. And you just have to pay attention because there is literally no prospect that is hotter than him in the minor leagues right now, and he's going to force his way up.
All right, so Tibbs, obviously a guy that is on the rise here. Let's talk about Max Clark, another guy that is certainly scratching the surface. And we've seen how good McGonagall's been to start the year. Max Clark hitting 367 to begin the season here at AAA for the Tigers. And a guy that, look, the Tigers are in the thick of it right now. Kind of a mid-level start here for the Tigers, a little slow out of the gates. Could we see Max Clark sooner than later, too, as an injection into this offense?
Yeah, but by the way, I think it's Trademan literally took this. How dirty did our production team do Max Clark here by picking the picture where he missed the fly ball? Absolutely disgusting. This is
wrong.
I'm disgusted by our production team for picking literally the worst.
One thing I will say,
Dan Clark is just cheering right now.
I will say this: Max Clark does have all the earmarks of he's got the shade. I got the shades. He's got the shades. He's got the I play travel ball shades. He's got the eye black situation going on. He is the prototypical travel baseball kid, all grown up.
Now I see what you're saying. I thought you were going to.
So making it taking him down a peg. I think it's all right. I will wear these when we're talking about Max Clark because I am excited about him. And I guess what do you have to do? You have to wait for Parker Meadows to have an issue for Max Clark to really kind of rise up now.
Well, maybe that's part of it. But I think you can also look at what Kevin McGonagall was able to do. Max Clark is of a similar breed. He's a high average, lower strikeout guy, gets on base, can steal like crazy. Already he's hitting 367 at AAA. This is a 21-year-old, by the way. 3 stolen bases. He's got an over 400 OBP. There's not big homers going in, but 6 of his 11 hits have been doubles so far. I don't think they're going to push him like to an insane degree, but if that offense starts to stutter, if there's an outfield injury, like Max Clark is the next big thing. I could see the team maybe not wanting to have a ton of rookies, but for him to have gotten that push to AAA already, to see the success he has, and a team that doesn't want to be, just littered with strikeouts, spacing is kind of hard, but I think you can find a spot for him. We are just on Max Clark watch. There's only so long they're going to be able to keep him down. I think he'll be a great fantasy asset. I think there's more power in there. And I also think he could play better defense than this picture is showing.
All right. Well, I certainly hope so. All right. I will take the Max Clark glasses off for a moment. Let's talk about one of my people, the Italians there, Sam Antonacci, who's off to a great start here for the White Sox organization at AAA. 7 games so far. He's got an OPS over 1,000, 2 homers, and 8 walks, just 3 strikeouts. Something you don't see very often, especially from young players. So let's talk about Antonacci, because we know nothing should be stopping the White Sox organization from continuing to let the kids play, because the future is now for that team.
I'm obsessed with Sam Antonacci. And like, this is a tough one because we are this early part of the season. It's hard to project, like, when is a team going to give up on guys, so this is a little bit of like, these are a couple players that I love. They're at AAA, they're smashing, and I could see teams making a move soon. Sam Antonacci is not the biggest of the name guys that this team has, but from the WBC on, we've seen that bat fly. He is starting to get the ball in the air more. A lot of people thought he was going to be a much heavier, like, stolen base over home run guy, but he's got 4 stolen bases. We have the RBI number up there, but more important, 4 stolen bases to go with 2 homers and over 500 OBP right now. Very, very good. And you might like this, more than double the walks over strikeouts. So you said the 8 walks. Well, guess what? He only has 3 strikeouts. That's kind of Max Clark-esque. Not that the White Sox are trying to press anything, but Sam Antonacci, I think, is one of the most impressive guys in their system. Super, super underrated. And we need to get him on our mind, because if he does get a call up into the near future, we want to pick him up. Where he fits, that is a much bigger question. And this team isn't really trying to win a bunch of games. But I think Antonacci is going to definitely be a much bigger fantasy play once he's up. And right now, as you can see, the skill sets, the plate skills are phenomenal. He's running, he's hitting, he's doing a bit of everything. And you could probably use that with the White Sox right now.
And we'll stay with the White Sox for Noah Schultz, who last year started in AA, pitched pretty well there, mid-3s ERA. Finished the year at AAA, where he got beat around a little bit, 9 ERA and 5 starts. But he starts again here at AAA at just 22 years old. Off to a good start here in his first 2 appearances, 9 innings, 10 strikeouts, 2 walks. So your thoughts on Schultz's hot start?
Yeah, I mentioned earlier in the show, I'm not like the biggest prospect pitcher guy, but Noah Schultz is really fascinating. Big 6'9", 6'10" pitcher who's had a lot of injuries over the last couple years. He's been dealing with even slow go out of extended spring training or minor league spring training here, but going up into AAA, he has had 2 really good outings. And that's kind of the big thing. He is not giving up hits. He barely giving up any runs. His strikeouts through the roof right now. Really great extension. And I think there also could be, there was this old thing that happened with Max Scherzer many, many years ago where team wanted to push him up. The Diamondbacks wanted to push him up because fears of, I think when he was throwing like a splitter, maybe it was, that, that could end up hurting the arm long-term. So it's like, we want to get the bullets in the majors. I think there's something to the White Sox looking at the rotation they have, some of the guys at the back end of the rotation, they're not going to work, and say, we need to get Noah Schultz up there. We need to go now. Look at the success we have with Garrett Crochet. I think Noah Schultz is on watch over the next 2 or 3 weeks, that if you keep having this success, they bring him up and then just let him have those bullets at the major leagues, because I don't know how much more well it would be served. So he would be someone I would be interested in owning if he gets to the major leagues. I know he's a White Sox guy and it's weird, but the strikeouts could be really, really exponential. So Noah Schultz is someone we got to keep an eye on. One of the few prospect pitchers I'm really paying attention to right now.
All right, the next one here I'm going to call shenanigans, because if you play 120 games in the big leagues, I don't know if you're a prospect anymore, but he is in the minor leagues, and he's gotten off to a really hot start. Jasson Dominguez, again, the OPS over 1,000, hitting almost 400. He needs a good start, too, to get back into the big leagues. And I'll say this, too. The Yankees have gotten off to a really good start. Pitching's been spectacular, and they're still going to add Rodon. They're still going to add Cole at some point, too. Look, I think the Blue Jays are having some problems. I think the Yankees look really good, and if you can continue to add bats from within, like Dominguez or Spencer Jones at some point, it's a really good look for the Yankees.
And this is shenanigans, of course.
It is shenanigans.
I try to actually stick pretty stringent on non-debuted prospects. I usually don't come back to guys that have gone up and down because there's other guys like, Reese Hines is hitting right now. That there's the 27-year-old guys that are hitting. I don't go back to that well. But I just want to point out, because how often are we ever going to talk about Jasson Dominguez? He's still super young, in that Jordan Walker range of like, you're shocked at how young he is. He is smashing right now. Maybe ultimately he's just a quad A player, and he's a guy that can't succeed at the majors, and he can only do it, in this like above AAA range. But he is finding a lot of success early on, which is great because this is going to give him an opportunity again. He's almost hitting 400, 2 homers, 2 stolen bases. He's got a nice walk to strikeout ratio. He's kind of doing a little bit of everything that you need him to do. And I think the opportunity could jump back in. I don't know if this is going to revive him. Personally, I think Jasson Dominguez needs a new start. I think you get him to a new destination where he can start every day, kind of revamp some of this stuff. I don't know. For some reason, I could see him as a Marlin. He's traded for Sandy Alcantara, and he's one of those guys that could barrel and pull the ball, and the Marlins can maybe fix him a little bit. But Jasson Dominguez, just keep him on your radar because we're probably never going to talk about him. He is killing the minors, and maybe he'll be back up soon as I cheat my way out of prospecting with the Welsh.
If you're not cheating, you're not trying. That's Prospecting with the Welsh, everybody. Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel for more Prospecting with the Welsh at Fantasy Pros MLB. All right, Welsh, also I wanted to throw this out there because it's kind of interesting because you mentioned Tibbs in that scenario, and I saw a great tweet basically about the destruction of the Red Sox. I'm going to throw this up here and talk. Did you see this?
Oh, yeah, no, I know. I didn't bring this stuff up because I knew we were going to talk about it.
Okay.
It's great.
So let's throw this up here, Callie. So this was pretty awesome. The person who put this out there. So tough sequence brewing here. This is the tweet. This is from Gordo, from Boston Sports Gordo, who I guess is a Boston sports radio guy, I can only assume, or something to that effect. The Red Sox ruined their relationship with Rafael Devers in the name of making Alex Bregman their third baseman. Then they traded Devers for a package centered around Kyle Harrison and James Tibbs. Despite that, they let Bregman walk just 7 months later over a no-trade clause. Then they gave that money to Ranger Suarez, who has an 80 ERA in 2 games. Despite having a full rotation already. Then they named Caleb Durbin, who has a 204 OPS so far, their third baseman. They traded Kyle Harrison in that deal, who has a 2.61 ERA on 2 game starts, and James Tibbs has 7 homers in 9 games, who they traded last year for Dustin May, who has a 5 ERA in 6 games for the Red Sox. So, yeah, that's a pretty rough stretch here.
I saw Jared Carabas, who's a giant Red Sox guy, and he tweeted out, and he was just like, you know what? That Rafael Devers trade was a good trade. The problem is they traded away all the pieces that they got in it for nothing. All I could think about is
Tibbs right now and Harrison in that rotation is looking pretty good because the Red Sox are 2-8. And Welsh, I don't know if you saw this sign behind home plate for the Red Sox game. Let's throw this out there because the sign, kids eat free when the Red Sox win. Children are starving everywhere, Welsh.
In the arms of the angels.
There's a lot of singer-songwriters trying to fix that right now.
Yeah, I know. I mean, please, we're going to need aid sent to Boston quick because kids are just starving in the streets. The Red Sox are one of the worst teams I have ever seen. And can you imagine, like you said, go through James Tibbs in the middle of the lineup, Kyle Harrison on the back end. Kyle Harrison not going to be any worse than Ranger Suarez. It is pretty wild. All I can think of is like Breslow. You ever seen that skit in I Think You Should Leave with Tim Robinson where he's dressed up as the hot dog? He crashes the hot dog car and he's like, we got to find them. We got to find who did this. And that's like Craig Breslow. Yeah. So someone give me that, please.
It's brutal right now. And that's why I keep looking at the Trey Savage shoulder impingement, slow start, the Cody Ponce injury, some miscues in the field. You got Alejandro Kirk, who's hurt. We're going to talk more about that, too. All the injuries the Blue Jays have suffered so far, what the Red Sox look like so far, the Orioles seem to continue not to be able to get out of their own way for some reason. Man, I know it's early, but it feels like this is the Yankees division to lose. I will say this. The Giants are also 1-7 at home this year, just putting that out there. Also pretty dreadful to start. And watching Rafael Devers last night try to play first base, he really should just not play anywhere in the field.
Well, luckily they've got Bryce Eldridge, who's sitting in the wings, who can play first when they're ready whenever they're ready to do that for sure.
All right, 3 up and 3 down. Bryce Harper drove in 3 runs yesterday in that win over the Giants. Dalton Rushing went 4 for 4 with 2 homers yesterday. Blue Jays got destroyed by the Dodgers last night. So much for the World Series rematch. And then Brady House went 3 for 5 with a homer, 2 doubles. Nice start for the year for him. Sneaky. More on that later in the week. I got some stuff there. We got our waiver wire shows. Stick with us. Subscribe to the channel. And remember, when you subscribe to the channel and you subscribe to our Twitch, twitch.tv/FantasyPros, you get a 1.5 times chance of winning this, our Fantasy Pros giveaway right now. The championship belt from Trophy Smack, the #1 destination for epic fantasy hardware. So subscribe to the channel. We're giving away not 1, not 2, but 3 of these bad boys on the 14th of April. So that's coming around the pike here. So let's get in there. Let's get into the downs. Brian Bayo, 4 runs, 3 earned. No bueno, and 5 hits and 3 1/3. Casey Mize allowed 5 runs and 4 1/3. And Chris Sale, not a good outing for him. 6 runs, 4 innings, lost to the Angels. Any concerns about Chris Sale to start this year?
Concerns when, that he smashed his head with the baseball. I don't know if you saw that. Like,
I did, but that actually makes me like him more. I like that kind of stuff.
I love that he breaks stuff, by the way. I love that he chops up jerseys and he breaks.
Oh, the chopped up jersey. Remember what it was? Such a big deal. He's like,
and then the phone in the minor league. Yeah, I love Chris Sale. I love that he does that stuff. Nah, no worry. It's just, like I said, we're kind of just holding on to whatever we can. I think in the first 2 weeks of conversation pieces of like, what are we really worried about? Sample sizes need to get bigger. Chris Sale's just one of those guys. He's a unicorn. I don't worry until the stuff is completely gone. That was just like that was a bad outing.
Yeah, I would agree. I'd be buying him right now. All right, let's get to the injuries. Joe Stradamus struck yesterday. I told you they got to put Juan Soto on the IL, and they did, which is good. Now he's got to probably miss 2 to 3 weeks. And Welsh, as I told everybody on yesterday's show, I purchased it. Where is it? Here it is. The Juan Soto, there you go, the Funko Pop, purchased it right before the injury, so I jinxed him. So what I'm going to do is, here's what we're going to do, Welsh. We are going to put him on the shelf, and we are not going to unbox Juan Soto until he returns.
I have never seen someone more excited for a player to go on the IL for their team. Like, you're like elated. You're like, I was right. This is amazing. He needs to. Yes. Good news. You're like, you started the show.
Nothing.
You said good news. Juan Soto went to the IL.
Good news. Good news, because what you cannot have, if you're the Mets, is Juan Soto to miss 2026. 2 weeks in April means ungats. Okay? Everybody else you have is healthy. It's fine. But the repercussions of this means you're going to get more Brett Beatty. You're going to get more Mark Vientos. Ronnie Mauricio just got called up too. So they've got enough guys here to fill it out. So if you're in deeper leagues and you're looking for some streaming bats, Vientos has been hot so far to start the year. Mauricio is raking at AAA again. He's got some stolen base potential in there too. Like, there's some names. You just got to watch carefully who's playing. My gut tells me you're going to see more Tyrone Taylor, which I do not want to see. I'd rather see Vientos and Beatty in that lineup more. So that's my one pivot.
Vientos is the one. I probably wouldn't go with any of the other guys, but Vientos,
Beatty's pretty solid.
Beatty's okay.
Solid hitter.
I mean, but if you're you're not replacing.
If you're in a 15-team league and you need a bat here because you lost Jordan Lawler and you lost this guy and that guy, Brett Beatty in a storm right now might get you through a couple.
Maybe.
Weeks.
I did a deep dive on Vientos. Is super interesting right now too, because his strikeout rate is really low, and it looks like he might be making some swing changes and just overall approach changes, which maybe takes away power but makes him a more patient hitter. So I'm actually really interested in Vientos. By the way, what I think you should do, because I love the bobblehead up there, here's the only thing I would add to this.
Okay.
Put a Band-Aid on it. And put the Band-Aid right over like the side of it.
Well, I just thought leaving him in the box on the shelf, the metaphor of Juan Soto being on the shelf, I thought was really clever.
Put a little Band-Aid on it and leave the Band-Aid on until he gets called up, and then you can un-Band-Aid him on the show and unbox him.
Unbox him. So he's going to stay there until he comes back from the IL. So there you have it.
My Little Pony Band-Aid or something. Do you have any character Band-Aids at your house? Are you a big
Not
character
anymore.
Band-Aid guy?
I got 2 teenagers now. We're way past that.
What was the character of choice for the Band-Aids?
We definitely had Frozen Band-Aids. I want to say we had Tangled at one point for sure.
We definitely had Frozen too.
Also Inside Out for sure too. Definitely.
Oh, that's a really funny one.
Inside Out Band-Aids, but
I like that. SpongeBob. I think we were SpongeBob. Big SpongeBob Band-Aid.
This one kind of came out of nowhere, and the Cubs can't afford it anymore. I mean, first thing was Cade Horton, and then Matthew Boyd goes on the IL with a bicep strain. So, Welsh, talk to me about this Cubs rotation now. No Boyd, no Cade Horton, and we are not even through the 10th of April yet. It's only the 7th. That's brutal.
I mean, this is why you got to have depth upon depth because of injuries like this. Maybe floating around. Maybe they're going to talk to a guy like Lucas Giolito. Lucas Giolito has been floating around.
Are you his agent? That's like the 3rd time this year you've tried to
Have I? I don't think I have.
Oh yeah. You have. And that's okay. I want you to get paid.
No, I mean, that would be awesome. I would kill to be an agent like that.
I think you'd be a good agent.
I think I would too. And I've met a bunch of agents.
That's what we should do after this. We should become agents and represent players.
Yeah,
We
just
scout
need a
them. We
player.
find the guys we want, we believe in, and we go out there and we just, Joey Buckets and the Welsh go out there and just crush it.
Yeah, that'll be phenomenal sells. We'll be like,
Yeah,
oh,
sign this
sir,
paper.
Joey Buckets and the Welsh is on the line. They want to speak about Justin.
We're gonna make you an offer you can't refuse. That's what we're gonna do.
Yeah, this is a disaster. In the lower levels, I just don't think they have the guys that you're going to be able to rely on. I think they're going to have to go into the free agent market. Maybe a guy like Lucas Giolito could kind of fill that because, you're without Steele for a while. This Matthew Boyd stuff doesn't look super great. The Cade Horton news, I don't even know if you said this, but they came back. And if you just did, my apologies. But, we got the whole like, oh, hey, I think actually things are going to be okay today. Nope. It is worse than worse. And it looks like they said the imaging is bad. And what that tells me is, bye-bye, Cade Horton.
Oh, yeah.
He's going to be out for the year.
He's done.
Yeah.
And it sucks. I mean, and if you have shares of and this is why, honestly, Welsh, we did our betting preview. I was still Team Milwaukee because what was my big reason too? I was like, they have a lot of kids in that rotate. They can bring up Logan Henderson with an injury. They can bring up this. Like, they've got a lot of depth of pitching. And if the Cubs have injuries, I just don't know if they can sustain it. I didn't think we would be here in April.
That Milwaukee bet looks a lot better now. I mean, with how
sure
this team has been playing and some of the rotation and where the Cubs are sitting right now, it looks a lot better.
All right, Trey Savage is going to make another rehab start. Max Scherzer was moved yesterday. What a surprise. He has forearm tendonitis. He's 100 years old. He should be sitting at home and not pitching anymore. So another bad day here for injuries for the Blue Jays. So between you, Savage, Scherzer, Alejandro Kirk is then going to go surgery. He's going to be out for a long time. It's tough times right now for all those guys. But good news, Shane Bieber is going to throw a bullpen session on Tuesday. So we'll see how that goes.
Sure, that'll go well.
Can't go any worse. Mike Trout, by the way, was out yesterday of the lineup. Any concerns there? I know he got hit on the hands. The day off.
Give him a day off. Let that hand rest. Put him on the 10-day IL, Joe. It's the whole season. It's
Make me really excited. All right, let's take a look at the home runs. Yesterday, I was robbed, by the way, because Shohei Ohtani went yard yesterday and I didn't get it. So I'm pissed.
Oh, yeah.
I am effing pissed about that. Juan Soto jersey. Go join Discord. Whatever. WTF. I am pissed. I should have 3 right now. I should be on that board. I am not happy. So, yeah, whatever. But I did I jump ahead? Should we be doing?
No, you're confused. You did the sheet.
Oh,
wrong.
I
put
did
the
sheet
stuff
wrong.
in the wrong.
I was like, what did I do? All right, so you know what? I'm going to be a real jerk because I'm mad about yesterday. And I'm going to go with Aaron Judge. That's what I'm going to do. We're going with Aaron Judge. He's got a 300 average career against Savali. He's seen him a bunch. He got a home run against him already. So that's what I want. Give me that. Where are you going for your home run call today?
Are you just going to go back and forth? Like you're just going to go Judge and Ohtani just out of protest?
You know what? I can, as long as I don't do it back to back after a weekend. So whatever.
Yeah. And people need to remember, we get special rules.
I never saw that rule for the contest that we made, that I created with Dan Harris years ago before
Kelly.
You were even here.
That's not me. I don't care. You gave power.
I just never heard of this rule until yesterday when I tried to do it.
It's not my rule. It's Kelly's rule.
The
only rule that is kind of broken is Joe and I are allowed to do weekend in perpetuity. Nobody else, just us, because we're hosts.
Yeah,
we're special. So,
come on, we are special.
I'm going to stay in the same game. I'm going to go Ben Rice. Ben Rice has been off to a very nice hot start, and I like some poolside homers from Mr. Ben Rice against Aaron Savali. So we will be invested in the same game for the homers.
I almost went Nick Kurtz today, and I feel like, how you were in that vein last year where it's like, you go between two and you always pick the wrong one, and the one you didn't pick goes. That's going to be Nick Kurtz today for me. I haven't got a bad.
Actually, I love that you did that because you might have just like got him going.
I hope so. Either way, I'm happy, but I'm still going to be miserable about that. Welsh, you know what it's time for?
What?
It's time for the best bets
of the day
with Joey P and the Welsh, brought to you by Hard Rock Bet. Let's get after it here today on the slate. I'm going to go first 5 run line Baltimore at 0.5 on the minus side at plus 104. Trevor Rogers takes the hill here today. He is 2-0 with a sub-2 ERA against the White Sox and Shane Smith, whose ERA is over 19. So with the way Rogers has pitched here last year and to open the season, I think it's going to be a tough day at the office for the White Sox. But I want to go past that because I really don't trust too much what's going on with the Baltimore Orioles these days either. So do I think they can have a 1-run lead here in the first 5 innings? I think they can with the way Rogers has been going too. Plus also this time of year with guys on pitch counts and being monitored in April, I think some of these first 5 bets are a little bit safer. Welsh, where are you going for your best bet of the day?
Yeah, I was actually surprised when I went to put my bet in. I was like, holy crap. I also have a first 5 run line I'm going to play. By the way, the more talking about it too, I'm kind of feeling like a Yankees, like total run line or a Yankees first 5 run line with our home runs on Aaron Savale, especially in the early onset. But I am going to go with Detroit, the Detroit Tigers through the first 5. I'm going to take the run line for them to be up by a run. They are going against the Minnesota Twins. Taj Bradley has been pretty dang good, but Tarek Skubal, he's not bad himself. Going to keep down that Twins offense. They can put a little bit of runs on a few runs on the board early on versus Taj Bradley, even though that fastball has been fantastic. And I think the Tigers will. So them to be up by a run through the first 5. That's where I'm going with it on Tigers F5.
There you have it, everybody. Okay, those are our best bets of the day, brought to you by Hard Rock Bet. And remember, now is a great time to join Hard Rock Bet Sportsbook, the sportsbook of Florida. New signups can double their winnings with their first 10 bets, max of $50. That means if you would have won $100, now make it $200 only at Hard Rock Bet. So download the app today. Welsh, what are you looking forward to today in Major League Baseball? I got my eye on Paul Skeens at home, kind of getting back on track. What's your big watch point today? Our Diamondbacks, or our Diamondbacks.
Yeah, Diamondbacks, I love it. You're invested.
And my Mets going at it at 4:00 Eastern time as well. That's fun.
I mean,
we should live stream and watch that game together.
That would have been pretty fun. That would have been really fun. I will say this is a phenomenal pitching day. There is so much good stuff from like Gallen and Peralta down, but I can't help myself with a Mizorowski versus Garrett Crochet lineup. The Red Sox are favored. They're the worst team in baseball. They've been so bad. And on the run line, they are favored against Milwaukee right now. So I'm going to be locked into that one to see, especially how the first early onset goes. If Mizorowski's got his good stuff, Garrett Crochet, I think is going to be a demon out there. I think it's going to be a really good pitching matchup to watch, but you got a ton of them that are going down. And let's see if Connor Griffin can get a hit before he's sent down to AAA by Joey.
And tonight, actually on the YouTube channel, this is the first time we're going to be doing that fun little MLB live stuff. So you can do questions and answers with us.
No, I don't think so.
I'm doing it tonight. I have it in my calendar. Yes, because
I don't think so.
Is it not tonight, Michael Kelly? Are we not starting tonight?
No, I think the talk of it is next week. Yes.
Oh, it's next week.
You can do it alone if you would like. You could just be there. But next
I
week,
have it in my calendar as the 7th, so perhaps that's wrong. But that's next week. We should have done a test of it today at 4 Eastern. That's what we should have done.
I can start teasing it. We can start teasing it next week.
Yeah, you just come over our house. We're just one of our houses to come over and watch the game with us.
Yeah, go to Donnie's.
He's still making all the graphics. There you go. All right. So next week we'll have a fun thing on the YouTube channel. So if you haven't already subscribed, ring the bell till it goes ding on the YouTube channel so you can watch live. It's Q&A. We're going to be watching the games with you, talking about it from a fantasy perspective. So it's going to be a really good time there. So if you're sitting back watching the ball game or many ball games at one time, or you can't watch the games, watch us. Hang out with us, talk a little baseball. That's next Tuesday. I don't know why it was in my calendar for today, which is great.
There was one originally around this time, but then it got moved. So,
well, I'm glad someone told me. That's nice. All right, well, that'll do it for us. But the story of the game goes on for the Welsh. I'm Joey P. We'll see you next time, kids. Have a great rest of your day. All right, so if the Diamondbacks win, I will wear my Diamondback shirt that I bought at the airport tomorrow on the show. How's that?
You should fill up a bucket of cookies and eat it live on the show.
I do like buckets of food. Can't get around that.
When the Diamondbacks win in Arizona.
We'll see.